up, guys? Ashlani Reacts here, and welcome to today's rundown of A&J transfers, where we cover the biggest headlines in the football world today in forms of transfers, done deals, and rumours, of course. Today it's going to be very different. We're doing a very club-specific one because they have been very active this transfer window, and the club we're talking about is Inter Milan. Inter Milan today have confirmed the loan deal of Lukaku for a fee of €8 million plus add-ons. A fantastic deal for them, because if Lukaku is able to replicate any of his form in his previous stint at Inter, they will look to make that permanent, of course. It adds to their striking options because, you know, apart from Lautaro Martinez, they've also got Edin Dzeko, they've got Correa, they've also got Alexis Sanchez, who's actually had a decent enough season the past season. And also on top of that today, they've got Asllani, who's subject to his medical, the Empoli midfielder, 20-year-old Albanian, who's got a very bright future ahead of him, can play more defensively in CDM role as well, which would provide cover for Brozovic as well, which is something they have needed consistently. They will feel hard done by after missing out on the Serie A. I think everyone had them down as favourites. Some, missing out on small points here and there cost them in missing out on that league title to AC Milan. Now, these deals I've just mentioned have literally happened today. If we're going to cover their entire summer transfer window, let's not forget the fact that they have secured Onana as their new starting goalkeeper on a free transfer, right? And let's not even forget what they're going to do in the future. I mean, they're looking at Bremer, the Torino centre-back, Brazilian, got a huge future ahead of him. A lot of Football Manager players will probably know about him already, but he is literally looking to be secured within the next week or so. We're looking at a fee of 25 to 30 million euros, which is a steal in this climate because, like I say, I don't really rate Martinez as much as most people do. We've got Man United and Arsenal going after. In my opinion, Bremer's a much better option. He's someone who's with way better athleticism, way more commanding centre-back, and you will see that. I think anyone who doesn't know about Bremer will see that when he goes to Inter this summer. And the biggest question of all, I think, is whether they can secure Dybala. I mean, someone who literally captained a lot of the games for Juventus last season, for him to jump ship. I mean, just speaking to Jake alone, a diehard Juventus fan, it will be like a heart. I'd honestly put it up there with Figo going over to Real Madrid, to be honest with you, because, and even then Figo was it was a fee paid for him, whereas if you compare that to Dybala could be going on a free to Juventus's biggest domestic rivals, and if they're able to add him to this team, we are looking at a very stacked team. And I covered the transfer rumours a couple of days ago about Juventus, how they could potentially look. Let's not even get into what Inter could look like, because they are going to be possible contenders European-wise. I mean, I'm not going to put there as a top 5, but they're going to be able to go into the latter stages. They gave Liverpool a very tough time in the knockout stages of Champions League. And if they're able to make these additions, they're going to go even further than that. And the only thing they've got to really worry about in terms of the outs is Skriniar. PSG have labelled them as their second top target after Renato Sanchez. Luis Campos, their new director of football, the man who everyone knows is just the person who brought in Kylian Mbappe, Bakayoko, Bernardo Silva, all these players to AS Monaco when they were having their golden years, is what I don't want to call them, or golden era. But he is going to be looking to do big things in PSG. Him being brought in as director of football is going to be a very great decision by them. But Skriniar is their second top target after Renato Sanchez. And you don't really blame him. I mean, I've watched a few of his games for the past season. I've watched him before as well. He is someone top European teams should have snapped by now. I am very surprised he's not been snapped up. Man United, they need a centre-back. I mean, Chelsea, you need a centre-back. I mean, Chelsea seems literally obsessed with Koundé, and only a little bit recently they've talked about De Ligt, but a great option is Skriniar. He's right there. I think he's in the last year of his contract, so a great option to buy. If PSG are able to get him, I'm partnering him up with Marquinhos. They're going to be looking very lethal in that back line. Not as much as defensive woes. I mean, it's still very tough with that kind of team because they're in a Farmers League. Whether you want to deny it or not, they're in a Farmers League. But in terms of starting lineup wise, going back to Inter, even if they lose Skriniar, they're going to bring in Bremo. You're looking at a back line of Onana in goal, the back three of De Vrij, Bastoni and Bremer. Solid. That is incredibly solid. I think the best defence I've just mentioned in the Serie A. I don't think anyone contends with that. Not and to add to that, their wing-back options. They've got Dumfries, who's a sensational right wing-back, gets goals, gets forward. We all saw it in the Euros last summer. And then you also got probably the best left wing-back out there in Gosens, someone who's incredible for Germany whenever he plays. He's had a little bit of a shaky start into his career, joining in January, but I think Perisic now stepping out, it's his time to step into that fold and show everyone what he's got. And I think he'll absolutely do that. That midfield option, even if they stick to what they normally have with Brozovic holding and Barella and Çalhanoğlu in front, that's still going to be a very good, solid. I don't really rate Çalhanoğlu the greatest, but it's still a very decent player for that level at least. And their front line, I mean, Martinez and Lukaku are a very good dynamic duo. I mean, breaking them up was poor for football in my opinion, because they always knew where to find each other. The other player offered what the other player didn't. It was just a great link up to watch. Striking partnerships are so rare nowadays because people prefer to go one player up front. But thoroughly enjoyed that during the period that he was there, Lukaku, getting that back. And if the possibility came where they even kept Skriniar, right? You put Skriniar back in there. The possibility came where they secured Paulo Dybala. I would easily pull out Çalhanoğlu as that playmaking role, drop Barella next to Brozovic, and just give Dybala that number 10 role. In behind Martinez and Lukaku, you're looking at an incredible forward lineup right there. All that being said, the Serie A, I mean, after everything I've covered, everything we've heard in the news, the Serie A is looking so juicy the next season. You really can't put your hand on this is the clear favourite of the league. And their competitive nature every season so far has been getting better and better. And a lot of that will contribute to Juventus, that reign of dominance going away. But the others could be also attributed to the other teams getting much better. I mean, you're looking at Napoli becoming a top-class team. AC Milan finally winning their Scudetto in so many years. Inter Milan winning it the previous season. You're looking at a very good... And then you also got Roma winning their first ever European Championship under Jose Mourinho. And let's not forget, Jose Mourinho, in the second season of his managerial reign at any club, that is peak Jose Mourinho. We're looking at a very, very a league that I think can even contend with the Premier League as the best league in the world. And it's just so surprising out of the blue, because everyone will probably admit to say, after the Premier League, La Liga is the second best league. But the previous season we saw where Real Madrid just dominated it, it leaves the window open for the Serie A to step in. And with the Premier League even, it's been a 2-team league or sometimes just a 1-team league. Been a huge gap between them and the rest in comparison to the Serie A, which I honestly can't say out of the top 4 who will genuinely win. You would probably say, okay, this team has a better squad, but you can always find another reason for another team to win the league. Whereas looking at the Premier League, I don't know about anyone else, but Man City, the clear favourites. You're looking at the La Liga. Barcelona still, even if they sign Lewandowski, they're going to get the goals, but nowhere near competes with the Real Madrid team we've seen the past year. You also go into Atletico Madrid. Have they done much? Are they attacking enough as a team? They just need to be a bit more attacking, and I think they could easily contend with Real Madrid and Barcelona. But that entails taking the next step and moving out of Simeone's shadows. I think at one point they're going to step out and go after an attacking manager. Whether that happens, we have to wait and see. But you look at that, the Bundesliga, let's not get started. It's a 1-team league. They play better football than most leagues, but it gets to a point that, okay, this may be great football, but I'm just seeing one team win the league year after year after year. And that's where you just got to look back on it. And the French league, yes, PSG have lost out on the league a couple of times, but it's just so one-sided. And the bottom half of that league is just diabolical to watch. I'd rather watch championship games, to be honest with you guys. So the Serie A is looking so juicy. If Inter Milan are able to get Paulo Dybala on top of everyone else that I've mentioned so far, you're looking at 6 signings, right? that can transform this team. They may struggle for a gelling period, but you're looking at the on-paper favourites for the Serie A. However, having said that, Juventus will most definitely be back next season. And AC Milan, if they're able to bring in someone like an Asensio, small pieces to the puzzle for their team, they are still incredibly dangerous because they've still got a very young core. They've got Tomori, incredibly young. They've got Tonali, still young. They've got Rafael Leao, very young. Brahim Diaz, very young. They've still got a very young core. And AC Milan, they could go on a little run here and win 2, 3, 4 Scudettos if they're able to just keep adding small bits and adjusting the puzzle season by season, window by window. All that being said, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave it a like. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe and join the A&J family on our journey to 2K. Appreciate all the love and support you guys give us every single video. If you have any comments, please leave them below about the Serie A, how it's going to turn out the next season, about the transfers you've seen. Any Inter Milan fans, let me know what you think of these transfers. Any neutral fans, let me know what you think about the transfers. If there's any certain clubs you want me to cover for transfers, please do let me know. There's so many transfers going on. I just have to go with the ones where I think I've got the best knowledge for and give you the best rundown for. But I think Inter Milan was very crucial to do today. And if you enjoyed the video, you think your friends and family should enjoy the video as well, please share the videos. We appreciate it, definitely. And if you're new to transfer shows and you're not keeping up to date, there's so many transfers going on, it's all hectic. Hit that bell button and you'll be notified of any of our videos and any transfer. So you don't have to keep on going on Instagram, Twitter, shuffling, whether you can trust this resource or that resource. Trust A&J Reacts and we'll bring you the best transfer news on a daily basis. Anyways, guys, I've been Ash from A&J Reacts. I love you all. Take care. See you.